Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Raw, the show that continues to defy greatness with both hands clenched. This is from September 28th, 2020. A show that was notable for the absence of Raw Underground completely without a mention, and Retribution only briefly putting up their graphic on a screen. That's it. Obviously, COVID has hit them hard. It affected the pay per view the night before, and it clearly affected this Raw. And something else that it's clear is they have no idea what they're doing with this draft. They have no idea what they're doing because nothing felt like, oh, okay, it's setting the stage for this, that, or the other. Everything just feels very disjointed right now. The show is definitely a reflection. You've probably already heard about the Randy Orton thing where he came in with supposedly night vision goggles, which I was told by a friend were actually welding goggles. And the lights go out, and then he supposedly beats up four legends, Big Show, Christian, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, but there's no sounds except for the sound of a chair hitting the ground or whatever. But there's broken tables, and it's a scattered mess, but we didn't hear any of that in the dark, and it's ludicrous, and Randy Orton coming in dressed as a janitor in spite of the fact that he should just be able to walk around at will, and it's one of these things that probably seemed cool on paper, but the execution was so laughably bad. But that's where we're at, where we have to take laughably bad and accept it. We go open the show with Flair and Big Show and Christian, and then Shawn Michaels comes out last, and pyro happens, and they talk about how they all had a part in the ambulance match, and do a little promo. Drew comes out, wants to have this great. They wanted to have this great moment with the five of them. It really didn't click, not for me anyway. And then Orton comes on the screen, implies that they'll do a Hell in the Cell thing maybe. Our first match is a rematch from Clash of Champions, even though it really doesn't make sense to have one, except Zelina Vega did jump Asuka after their match, that she lost cleanly, and she loses clean again. What? And Drew McIntyre, by the way, has done an open challenge, so they hype that up. So as long as you've never faced him before, you can challenge him. Okay. And after Asuka wins that match, Asuka stands tall. Weird. We see Big Show, Ric Flair, Christian, and Shawn Michaels playing some poker backstage. That could make for some great vignettes. It doesn't, but it could. I like the general idea of it. They could have some insightful stuff happen, but they don't utilize it well. But I appreciate the effort, ? They hype up the open challenge for the title again. They make it clear that only ones that haven't challenged him yet can do it. Weird. We go back to commercial. Then Zelina Vega is still out there getting looked at by a referee, and then Andrade yells at Vega. So now they're yelling at each other. Okay. Keith Lee comes out. So here's Andrade's big singles push. Nope. Keith Lee beats him very handily. Huh. We get this thing of Kurt business at catering. Random white dude sits there, and then they kind of harass him, and then he leaves, and they laugh. Okay. We get a promo at last for TakeOver happening this Sunday. We go over a thing about how Akira Tozawa was eaten by a shark. R-Truth is backstage. He gets a letter. Tozawa says, in case I get eaten by a shark here. And so he has a black belt. But then Tozawa ends up attacking him from behind and rolling up Truth to win the title. But then the ninja drops Tozawa and pins him for the title. And the ninja's Drew Gulak, who briefly held the 24/7 title at the pay-per-view the night before. Truth, though, hits him and wins the title back. And so there's going to be a triple threat match between the three. My God, this is some terrible television, folks. It's so bad. I can't even convey how badly this all comes across. But then they top themselves. So they have Seth Rollins, Murphy, the Mysterio family. They show us those clips of the questioning the who the father is and all that nonsense. And Mysterio family is going to be on King's Court. Oh, okay. So Jerry Lawler's going to have a thing because Kevin Owens can't do it, I guess, or whatever. Uh, Rollins and Murphy. Rollins tells Murphy to go try on the suit that he bought for him, but he forgot to grab his phone. So Seth Rollins picks the phone up and puts it in his pocket. This is so awful. So terrible. Lawler's there. He goes over all of the paternity brouhaha. Here comes the whole Mysterio family. Ray tries to cut a serious promo. And then Lawler brings up that the daughter got upset with him. And is there a thing with her and Murphy? Whatever. They keep bringing up the fact that she's 19. Is there a thing going on between her and Murphy? We don't know. But then Rollins shows the text conversation between Murphy and Alia, which he found on Murphy's phone. I don't know, man. It's just so bad. Oh, fuck. Murphy grabs Rollins backstage. He's all mad. Dominic shows up and attacks Murphy. And then they get broken up by officials. Oh, my God. So Dominic attacks Murphy because Murphy is possibly interested in his sister, does not attack Rollins, who put his father's eye out. They mentioned that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are not medically cleared to compete. It sounds like COVID to me. And will have to defend against the Riot Squad when they can. Wow, so that pay-per-view yesterday could have been even worse if they had had that match. So Dominic Mysterio and Murphy's confirmed for later. Lana and Natalya are in the ring. And they say, we deserve a title shot. And then Adam Pearce comes out, yay, and says, he's like, well, we'll give you a match against the newest members of the division. And now comes Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. I write here in my notes, I'm sure Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke will win because it makes no sense. And sure enough, they win. There's one scary spot in here where Lana lands on her head. Man, it's AEW suffers from this, and now WWE appears to be suffering from it. It was just stuff that just sloppy stuff, like sloppy spots. Yep, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke win. And we see what happens last week with Strowman and Dabba-Kato on the KO show, but not about what happened on Underground. We're just pretending Underground didn't exist. Weird. It's so weird. Aleister Black goes on. And then so we have a match between the two of them, which they didn't promote this evening at all, even though this is the one thing that was clearly a feud. It's very odd. So the finish of this match, WWE has fallen in love with these weird finishes involving referees for some reason. So Aleister Black kind of goes to haul off to hit Kevin Owens and accidentally hits the referee, so the referee disqualifies him. What? Mustafa Ali gets decked for being near the Hurt Business stuff. And then we're going to have a 6-man match for later. Oh, boy. Now we got the triple threat for the 24/7 title. And they said the 24/7 rules are suspended during the match. What? Okay. Truth picks up Gulak and dumps him on top of Tozawa with like Cena's move. What? And wins. Okay. Charlie Caruso's talking backstage with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. How did your team come to be? Oh, well, I kind of like her for this. And she's like, I kind of like her for that. And they know the Riot Squad's going to get the shot next against Jax and Shayna Baszler, but they're watching and they'll come for the titles afterwards. Okay. Dominic Mysterio's warming up. We go to commercial, and when we come back, it's Dominic Mysterio against Murphy. A decent match. Dominic is distracted by his sister, so he gets rolled up. Oh, God. Murphy wins. Dominic attacks Murphy with the kendo stick, and then Aaliyah gets in the way and begs for the brother to stop. Dominic says he has to protect the family legacy. Dominic says the dad's right. She's naive, and she slaps him in the face. What? The Hurt Business is backstage. MVP throws a water bottle at a janitor and tells him to clean it up. Dolph Ziggler's there with Adam Pearce. Ziggler says he's got the perfect guy to answer the open challenge. Why isn't everybody clamoring for this challenge? Why wouldn't Andrade have challenged him for the title? I just don't get any of it. Ziggler and Pearce walk off to discuss who they think should get it. Now we got the 6-man with the Hurt Business, Mustafa Ali, Apollo Crews, and Ricochet. Luckily, there's no botch spots, which makes me very happy. Before we go to commercial, when the match is about to get going, we see the Retribution logos displayed all over the arenas. Back from the break, and the match happens. Long and short of it, MVP gets pinned by Mustafa Ali with a 450. The winners celebrate. The Hurt Business looks stunned, and then the two sides taunt each other. So if you're Zelina Vega, you continue to fight. But if you're the Hurt Business, you just accept your loss. Okay, sure. So we're back there with the poker game. Ric Flair wins a hand, struts away. Another vignette on Bianca Belair. At least they're doing this. She wins a sprint over 2 men and another woman. She gives them a head start. Belair just keeps winning and bragging. Yay. Who's announced for Raw Talk, which I've often said is the kiss of death. It's Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Murphy, and Mustafa Ali. And I am still correct. Video package of Retribution. Jeez Louise. And now we got the main event. Robert Roode against Drew McIntyre. It's Robert Roode. Wow. He looks like Gunnar Miller. I can't get over that. It really does look like him, body-wise, and the way they move. I'll say that. Long and short of it, Bobby Roode gets claymored and pinned, of course. And then we go to the ridiculous thing I highlighted in the beginning, Randy Orton and the Legends, and wearing welding goggles so he can see in the dark, and nobody making noises, or noises not indicating the beating that's supposedly taken place. And that's Raw in a nutshell. Everybody's in the dark. Nothing is what you expect it to be, and nothing lives up to the expectation. But you're just supposed to say, well, at least they're trying. That's the defense of Raw right now that I read from people. Well, but they're trying. Yeah. Try harder. This is Platinum versus Raw.